The death toll of a massive quake hitting eastern Afghanistan is almost certainly to rise amid challenging rescue and relief conditions. Multiple world leaders gather in Tianjin for the Shanghai Cooperation Organization Summit. And in Hong Kong, 2 doctors at the Tseung Kwan O Hospital are arrested over patients' records leakage. Good evening. You're watching Cable News. I'm Evelyn Bai. Rescue teams are racing against time in eastern Afghanistan after a powerful 6.0 magnitude earthquake struck near the Pakistani border late Sunday night, killing more than 800 people and injuring nearly 3,000. The death toll is feared to rise further as the remote location and mountainous terrain make rescue operations hard. Quentin Yang has more details.
The earthquake struck the country's northeastern province of Kunar near the Pakistan border at 11:47 p.m. local time, toppling hundreds of mud brick homes while families were asleep. Survivors and volunteers are desperately digging through rubble with their bare hands to find those trapped, as official rescue crews struggle to deploy. Afghanistan's new rulers, the Taliban administration, announced on Monday almost 4,000 people have died or been injured. But officials also acknowledged that the number could rise further as they're still working to reach remote areas. Taliban has issued an urgent appeal for international aid, specifically calling for helicopter support to reach remote mountainous villages. Meanwhile, domestic rescue efforts are underway. The Defense Ministry said 40 flights had carried out some 400 wounded and dead. As the country's already fragile healthcare system is being stretched to its limit, crowds of citizens in affected areas lined up outside hospitals to donate blood for the injured. Quentin Yang, Cable News.
Leaders from across Asia and Eurasia gathered in the mainland city of Tianjin for the Shanghai Cooperation Organization Summit, where they pledged to strengthen the cooperation on security, economy, and energy while championing a vision of a multipolar world order. Beth Leung reports.
The annual event saw attendance of global heavyweights including Russia President Vladimir Putin and Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi. President Xi Jinping inaugurated the event, highlighting the bloc's growth and its commitment to mutual development and regional stability. The summit culminated in the signing of the Tianjin Declaration, approving a 10-year development strategy that outlines a roadmap for the bloc's future. In a significant commitment, Xi announced 2 billion yuan in grants to member states this year and an additional 10 billion yuan in loans over the next 3 years. The event served as a prelude to another significant gathering in Beijing, where many of the same leaders are expected to attend a parade marking the 80th anniversary of the end of World War II. Beth Leung, Cable News.
2 doctors were arrested on charges of computer crime and dishonesty in connection with the Tseung Kwan O Hospital scandal involving the unauthorized leak of patient records. Quentin Yang reports.
The incident involved a consultant doctor and an associate consultant, aged 57 and 35 respectively. The consultant has resigned, while the associate consultant has been suspended from duties. They were arrested on suspicion of accessing and leaking patients' information without authorization and remained in custody. Kenny Yuan, chief executive of Tseung Kwan O Hospital, said the arrest followed an internal complaint in mid-August regarding the leak of some patients' confidential information to the media. The hospital strongly condemns such behavior, which causes serious damage to hospital-patient relationships, he added. The incident is linked to a scandal involving a man whose mother died following an endoscopic ultrasound procedure at Tseung Kwan O Hospital. The man was tipped off anonymously with leaked documents suggesting medical errors in his mother's death along with other patients' records, which he then shared with the media to voice his complaints. In response to whether the arrests are related to the case, Yuan said that, following a medical expert's examination, The patient's death was attributed to complications, and the case has been referred to the coroner's court. Quentin Yang, Cable News.
School buses, students in uniform and heavy traffic filled the city this morning as the new school year began, marking a lively return to classrooms. Let's find out what new expectations await students this new school term. As the summer break comes to a close, students accompanied by their parents returned to school this morning, bringing the Pokong Village Road School Village, where 5 schools are housed, to life. I'm so happy as the new school term has just begun and I can meet new classmates, said this student in Primary 4. This boy said he's thrilled about the variety of snacks available at the tuck shops. Amid welcoming a new academic year, students have set their own goals. I want to join the basketball team and practice at least twice a week, said this Primary 6 student. This student, who just started Secondary 1, said his main goal is to battle through the fierce competition and get into a good university. No doubt he's making preemptive preparations. Despite the government urged students to set out early on the first day of school, some still came late. This girl didn't have time to answer our reporter's questions and rushed into school. While this student seemed more relaxed, saying it was fine since it was already late. Separately, Secretary for Education Christine Choi visited a school in Taipo for an opening ceremony, encouraging students to grow through challenges. She stated that the Education Bureau will thoroughly investigate and impose strict penalties regarding shell schools that work with agencies to help students from other places gain local status for subsidized university places. Shenzhen Hong Kong Guangzhou Innovation Cluster has secured the title of the world's top innovation cluster, according to the World Intellectual Property Organization. Overtaking Tokyo Yokohama, the Chinese cluster had risen to the top for the first time in the Global Innovation Index 2025 Top 100 Innovation Clusters. In third place is the San Jose-San Francisco cluster in the United States, followed by clusters in Beijing and Seoul. The ranking newly includes the number of venture capital deals as a new metric. It also highlights that Hong Kong boasts 5 universities ranked in top 100, while Shenzhen is home to tech giants like Tencent and Huawei.
With Hong Kong's international outlook and the GBA's vast market potential, we are confident that our region will continue to attract the brightest minds from around the world. Taken together, Hong Kong and the GBA combine the strengths of the San Francisco Bay Area and the New York Bay Area, bringing together world-class tech research, innovative companies, deep financial markets, manufacturing capabilities, and a massive consumer market.
Tourism Chief Rosanna Law said the integration of culture, sports, and tourism has proven to be a successful approach for the city, as shown by the revival in tourist numbers. Hong Kong welcomed 5.15 million visitors in August, surging 16% year-on-year, whereas incoming tourists in the first 8 months of the year also saw a 12% increase. Speaking at a tourism industry symposium, Law expressed optimism that this year's visitor target is achievable under the concerted efforts from all industry stakeholders. The tourism minister noted that tourist spending patterns changed drastically post-pandemic. In response, authorities have been blending culture and sports with tourism, launching 16 M-Mark mega events so far this year, including the Rugby Sevens and the Saudi Super Cup, as well as international mega stars concerts, which were highly recognized and had successfully pulled in the crowds. She also pledged the government's continuous support to the city's athletes and the development of the sports industry. Indonesian President Prabowo Subianto has bowed to the public pressure by cutting lawmakers' benefits, as the week-long protests have left at least 6 people dead and shaken the nation. Quentin Yang reports.
The concession, announced in a televised address last night, came after nationwide protest became the most significant challenge to Prabowo's presidency since taking office last October. Demonstrators went out of control after a police armored vehicle ran over and killed a 21-year-old delivery driver during a Jakarta protest on Thursday. The unrest quickly escalated, with protesters setting parliamentary buildings ablaze and looting officials' homes across the capital and other major cities. Among the highest-profile targets was Finance Minister Sri Mulyani Indrawati, whose residence near Jakarta was pillaged by crowds who made off with electronics, paintings, and furniture. The death toll quickly rose to 6 over the weekend. The crisis has forced Prabowo to cancel a planned trip to China this week. Flanked by political party leaders, Prabowo stated that lawmakers would revoke the 15 million rupiah housing allowance and suspend expensive overseas trips. However, he paired this concession with a stern warning, ordering military and police to take firm action against what he called rioters and looters, suggesting some acts bordered on treason and terrorism. Several groups have delayed or called off protests planned for Monday, as security forces tightened patrols and set up checkpoints across the capital. Meanwhile, authorities also took aim at social media, criticizing TikTok for spreading inflammatory content and prompting the platform to temporarily disable its live feature in Indonesia. Quentin Yang, Cable News.
Now let's take a look at the stock markets. The Hang Seng Index ended the day up 539 points. Top active stocks of the day: Alibaba was up $21.40. Meituan was up 30 cents. Tencent was up $8.50. Xiaomi was up $1.15. Foreign exchange against the Hong Kong dollar: Canadian dollar 5.67, Australian dollar 5.10. July's retail sales figures came in weaker than expected, despite picking up for 3 straight months. Retail sales rose 1.8% from a year ago in July, better than a revised increase of 0.7% in June, but worse than an estimated 2.5% growth. For the first 7 months of the year, retail sales dropped 2.6% from the same period last year. Of all merchandise categories, jewelry, watches and clocks, and valuable gifts surged by 9.4%. Medicines and cosmetics grew by 2.6%. Looking ahead, a government spokesman said that local consumer sentiment should remain steady. The government's proactive efforts in promoting tourism and mega events will also benefit retail businesses. On to the weather now. Mainly fine apart from isolated showers, light winds. The minimum temperature will be around 28 degrees. Very hot during the day. The maximum temperature will be about 34 degrees. That's our news tonight. I'm Evelyn Bai. Thanks for watching and good night.